There's a lot of talk currently around AI and when it will be intelligent enough to be human. If this is being viewed sometime in the future, then either hail to our AI overlords, or suffer not the synthetic to live, delete as applicable. The current rise of AI does raise interesting questions around what does it mean to be human. Whilst it's not been an easy answer so far, as there has been no other intelligent life, it's hard to put a barometer on what we do that is truly unique. But as we are at the genesis of something that could potentially equal us, then how will we define what makes us human? What better way to do this then than watching one of my favourite films, Balde Runner? Before delving into the moral questions, I'll give a brief history around the film, as it's quite interesting in itself. A loose adaptation of Philip K. Dick's 1968 novel, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? The Balde Runner film tells the story of Rick Deckard, a police officer who must hunt down a group of rogue replicants, synthetic humanoids, and retire them. Set in its dystopian future Los Angeles, the film on the surface is a neo-noir crime thriller, but once you delve a little deeper, it asks questions about humanity, self-identity, and what being alive truly means. Originally a screenplay from 1977, there were numerous rewrites. Then there were issues with funding to try and get the film into production. Once on set, there were disagreements between the director and the actors. Post-production was also mired in studio interference due to poor test screening. Even lost final cut of the US theatrical release. This led to the infamous happy ending with a languid Harrison Ford voiceover.
Gaff had been there and let her live. 4 years, he figured. He was wrong. Tyrell had told me Rachel was special. No termination date. I didn't know how long we'd have together. Who does?
After this initial poor run, a copy of the original print work got released and began garnering attention for how it improved upon the film. Eventually, after many different releases and versions, we got what is now the definitive edit of the film in the final cut. This is the version I would recommend as it feels like the most complete film. With that tumultuous journey, the film is now very highly regarded. Known for being incredibly influential, with its gritty future being one of the bases of the genre of cyberpunk. The film's DNA can be found all over modern media, in films like The Matrix, in anime like Ghost in the Shell, in games like Deus Ex, TV series like Altered Carbon, even music with bands like Fear Factory. It really cannot be stressed how much Ridley Scott is responsible for the feel of the sci-fi genre as a whole between Blade Runner and Alien. Anything slightly futuristic will have borrowed something from Blade Runner without even realising. So why has this film seeped into every corner of culture? Well, two main reasons in my mind: aesthetics and themes. Just to tease you some more before getting to the main point of this video, let's talk the aesthetics first. The world of Blade Runner feels truly real. Some things may seem odd now for a vision of the future, like how analogue everything is with buttons and gears, or the lack of personal devices. I mean, Deckard uses a payphone at one point, which is quite funny. But as a projection of 80s technology, it's brilliant. It establishes a dark atmosphere with the nighttime downpour only being perforated by artificial light, which is normally a neon sign or some other extreme advertising blasting through. If it's not that, then it's some stray light from a passing vehicle. This gives the film its unique look. The city doesn't look a million miles away from modern Shanghai, but at the time, there was nothing like this. The future was clean and bright, not dark and disgusting. This is all good, but what makes the film brilliant is this is all for a purpose. There is meaning behind the design choices. All this artificial light and no semblance of nature establish how ruined the world has become. At ground level, the conditions are awful. The city has grown up and out to try and escape this darkness. The huge ziggurats of the Tyrell Corporation standing above all. Things change when you reach the top of this tower though. All the shots here are bathed in golden light, as if it was some high Empyrean where God resides. Which again ties in later with Roy meeting his creator, a literal god to him. Thought has gone into every level of the filmmaking, and that is what makes it stay with you. Now the main event. What makes us human? In the films, replicants are more than human. Stronger, faster, more intelligent. Yet they aren't seen as human. They have emotions, they show love, anger, fear and sorrow, but again, still not human. Maybe then it's the experiences we all go through which build our idea of self. While Rachel, the most advanced replicant, has this. It's synthetic, but it's still there. Not to go too first-year philosophy, but for all intents and purposes, your memories could be synthetic. This sort of builds into the Deckard is a replicant theory, but you can't really prove the past. Some people will remember things differently, for example. The same event can cause two people to go two very different ways. Let's eliminate more possibilities. It's not language, as animals seem to have rudimentary forms of communication. Some people will say it's our compassion, as to be humane is defined as to be merciful, kind, or compassionate. However, in the film's incredible conclusion, Roy shows compassion. It's about 3 minutes of perfect cinema, where people will say Roy becomes human. He saves Deckard and reminisces on his life, realising how whilst these memories were important to him, they will be gone forever. While a profound message on what life is, I still don't think this is where humanity is born. Conversely, Deckard is shown to have lost his humanity. He's sleepwalking through his life, seemingly has no one. He thinks nothing of killing the replicants, calling it retirement. Deckard is running on programming without even stopping to think what he's doing. While the replicants are shown to love and care for one another, Deckard simply wants Rachel, like a toy he can't have. The portrayal of the romance is the weakest part of the film, but the start of their tryst definitely feels like a counterpoint to show the classic "maybe humans are the bad guys after all" trope. Fundamentally, this is why Deckard needs to be human, and him being a replicant doesn't work thematically. But it's fun to watch and see him as a replicant. My headcanon for this theory is that him and Rachel are the next steps in replicant technology. And this has all been set up by Tyrell to get them together and test how good the implanted memories are. That's why the police officers are always near and give him odd looks. It would make more sense in line with the original novel, as the book is more around where does the line between simulacrum and original end. But again, this makes no sense against the theme of humanity. So where does that lead us to? Well, I believe what ultimately makes us human is the choices we make. The replicants become human when they choose to go against their programming. They break away from what they're supposed to do. We do this in many ways daily. As a thought experiment to help my case, think of picking up a hot pan that is burning you. Your programming is to immediately drop it. Any animal would do this. However, you can make a choice. Sometimes it's actually worse to drop the pan, as it may have consequences where it is better for you to be burned. An AI would never make this kind of decision. There would be too many parameters to account for. You'd be able to get it to react a specific way, obviously, with specific routines, but encountering this as a new scenario, any human has the capacity to choose not to drop the pan. We can surpass our programming at any point if we choose to. An AI cannot. It's forever bound to the rules that have been set. The phrase, "to err is human, to forgive is divine," comes to mind. We are all running on programming. We are slaves to a lot more of our nature than we like to admit. What we as humans do, though, is choose to be more than that. It is not the doing of those things. They don't even have to be virtuous. But it's the choice to rise above something you want to do or are told to do. In the film, it's not that Roy saves Deckard. It's that he chooses to. He decides that even though this man has brought him nothing but harm, he should get to live on. Every instinct or programming is likely telling him to kill Deckard. But there is nothing in that. Whatever he gets from it will still ultimately be lost, like all those moments he laments. In saving Deckard, Roy has ascended past his creator who could not save him. He has become the aforementioned divine. Will AI ever be able to get to this point? Who knows? We can't decipher how we make these conscious decisions now, so it seems improbable that we could somehow code something else to do that in the near future. As I said before, it's not even about moral complexity, it's more to do with irrationality. Why would we ever make a closed system that can be wrong? So wrong, in fact, that it's self-destructive. But it's in that self-destruction we sometimes find what makes us human. Thanks for watching. If this video made you think of something new, please leave a like or share with a friend. If it infuriated you, as you can think of several rebuttals, please comment below. I'll be uploading weekly discussions on all your favourite media, so please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.